Good afternoon. My name is Márton Gyöngyösi, Director for Political Relations with the European Christian Political Party. And my guest today is Bert-Jan Ruissen, member of the European Parliament from the Netherlands, from SGP, and also member of the European Christian Political Party. And we have been very busy in the last couple of weeks with the topic of Maria Shahbaz, a Pakistani girl who has been abducted, who has been forced into a marriage and forced into conversion to the Islam. A real hot topic these days because last week in Strasbourg in the European Parliament, a resolution has been adopted in this particular case. And just recently, a few minutes ago, we concluded a 2-hour conference on this topic, whereby a lot of NGOs, you were hosting it together with other MEPs. NGOs were involved, the Jubilee Center, ADF, a lot of advocacy groups were there talking about the issue of Maria Shahbaz. But the real big event was the debate and the vote in the European Parliament on the resolution last week in Strasbourg. What is Pakistan and the whole topic of forced abduction, forced conversion, forced marriage doing on the agenda of the European Parliament?
Yes, well, thanks for that question. We took the initiative quite a couple of months ago already. As a member of the ECR and member of the ECPP, I took the initiative. I proposed the Conference of Presidents of the Parliament to put the forced marriage and forced conversions in Pakistan on the agenda of the Parliament. It took me indeed a couple of months. First of all, it was not accepted by other political groups, but finally, this month, we found a majority of political groups who were willing to support our request. During the last couple of months, for the other political groups, Pakistan, and it's the case of Maria Shahbaz, was not a priority, but well, we were able to convince them to show how important it is to discuss this case, and not only her case, but also the whole situation in Pakistan and the persecution of Christians and the fact that girls are abducted and forced to marriage with Muslim men.
This is a very specific issue, the case of Maria Shahbaz. We are talking about an underage girl, but how widespread is the phenomenon of forced marriages, abductions, and statutory rape, as it is, and conversion to the Islam? How widespread is this phenomenon in Pakistan or in the world even?
You see it mainly, you see it in Pakistan. In Pakistan, it's widespread. During our conference, we saw figures of 210 cases, Christian girls who are abducted and forced to marriage, 220 cases during the last 5 years. But they also stresses that it's a tip of the iceberg. And it's important to realize that it's not only a matter of Christian girls who are abducted, but also Hindu girls. According to our information, 70% of the abducted girls are Hindus, and 30%, something like that, are Christians.
So it is not only concerning the abduction of Christians, but also people of other faith and converted to the Islam. So it's a very widespread phenomenon, and it is really a matter for multiple faiths and multiple. Now, we have also heard in this conference and also in the report, it states that there are laws in place in Pakistan and certain mechanisms, and we also know that laws are great, but if they are not enforced, they are not implemented, they are not really worth much. So what can we do to enforce and to implement the laws that are in place?
Yes, so that's one of the most important recommendations of our resolution, which was adopted last week in Strasbourg. we really ask the Pakistani government to implement to respect the laws in reality, because law can be excellent, but when you do not implement the law, then in reality nothing will change. So a clear implementation is crucial, and that all starts with a clear and correct implementation by the courts. What we heard at this conference, for example, is that the court, also Supreme Court in Pakistan, is mainly, let's say, accepting quite often false certificates provided by the abductors, false marriage certificate, birth certificates,
yeah.
And the court is not really listening to for example, the parents who are saying, well, my
parents
daughter,
of the victim, yeah.
the parents of the victim saying, well, we can prove it's our daughter, she is just 30 years old. That's reality.
There's also this problem, if I understand correctly, that while there are the secular courts and the secular laws, there is a parallel world of the Sharia law,
Yes.
which is sometimes in certain instances even more dominant and overwriting the written law of the land.
Yeah.
Is that what is the real problem, perhaps? That there is a parallel reality in Pakistan.
I really got the impression also during our conference that the courts is facilitating, let's say, the Muslim, the Islam, say, society and wishes, and also listening to the Sharia law instead of respecting let's say, the secular laws.
What can the European institutions do? I mean, there is a special envoy for freedom of religion and belief, recently appointed after many years of waiting. Mairead McGuinness, who was a parliamentarian, also vice president of the parliament previously, so she's a well-known figure in the European institutions. She has been appointed envoy for freedom of religion and belief. The parliament has just adopted a resolution. What more can be done to make sure that the laws are implemented in Pakistan?
Yeah. Last week we spoke already with our special envoy, Mrs. McInnes, about the situation in Pakistan. And she said to us, well, your resolution is for my work very important, because then you are giving me political backing for my activities. And in the meeting we had with her from the parliament, we stressed the importance of visiting Pakistan. So we urge our special envoy to organize a mission and to go to Pakistan, or at least to speak with the ambassador here in Brussels.
To address the issue.
To address the issue.
One of the recurring themes, and also here in the conference it was mentioned, that the European Union, in its bilateral dealings with Pakistan, has introduced the GSP Plus, which is a trade arrangement. Yeah. It's the general scheme of preferences plus, which basically, technically, it provides Pakistan for 2/3 of its products zero customs duties. So we, the European Union, imports products from Pakistan at 0% customs, and we have this arrangement running since 2014 until next year. And one of the conditions for keeping up GSP Plus is to to abide by the rules of human rights and the human rights conventions. Would this be perhaps a tool? Is this when it's under renegotiation?
The fact that negotiations with Pakistan about GSP Plus or a prolongation of GSP Plus for a new GSP Plus is now going on gives a very good opportunity to address these kind of issues. Not only the situation related to forced marriage, but also in relation to blasphemy laws and so on. So the fact that we adopted now our urgency resolution was also given the fact that we have now our GSP Plus negotiations. The timing was excellent.
Yes.
Because now in the negotiations with Pakistan, the EU can use that as an important backing. And yes, I really think that a GSP Plus is important for Pakistan and also for the Pakistani society. So I support GSP Plus. But what we have to do is we have to make it real conditional. That means that Pakistan has to show real progress in this field. We ask for a safe return of all these girls. We ask for stopping, let's say, the misuse of the blasphemy laws. And in the case Pakistan don't show progress, then a final outcome can be that indeed we have to suspend GSP Plus. I'm not saying that we have to suspend it now directly. Let's Pakistan give some time to improve the situation, but finally that can be consequences.
You said that the EU institutions, when they are negotiating, they can take into consideration the resolution adopted with urgency. That sounds to me like an option, that it doesn't have to take into consideration the resolution, but it can take it into consideration. How can you make sure, what are the instruments for you as an MEP to make sure that whoever is negotiating the GSP Plus with Pakistan from the European side does make sure that human rights are abided by Pakistan and are taken into consideration and taken seriously? What are your tools to make sure that the EU doesn't just neglect it in the negotiations?
Well, that's a matter indeed of democratic, let's say, control about the behavior of the Commission and the Council in this respect. And we have to take our role as European Parliament very serious in this respect. So we cannot say, well, this is a resolution and, now it's the responsibility of the Commission to act. We, as Parliament, we really have to monitor and to ask for a clear follow-up. So I can assure you that we will ask the Commission and the High Representative within a couple of months to inform us about what she did in order to implement our resolution. The Commission cannot ignore this. And then we can ask again for a new debate, and it's our role to put pressure, on the Commission. Finally, but that's a very heavy instrument. What we can do as Parliament is to support a motion of censorship against the Commission, something like that. But if the Commission do not act. But it's quite difficult. That's
the last resort.
That's the last resort. And it will be difficult to find a majority in the Parliament for such an important step. But these kind of political instruments we have as Parliament.
Yes, and also, I mean, looking at the debate, listening to the debate last week, and also looking at the resolution, how it was adopted with a huge majority.
Yes.
You can see that there is a consensus and a general agreement across the
all
political
parties.
ideologies and the political board. also, I want to ask you, because I know that you are very active in the intergroup of freedom of religion and belief, which is also an intergroup, is a cross. It's from all sorts of parties and all sorts of ideological backgrounds. MEPs are present. Is this also a topic there? Is it something which is on the agenda of the intergroup?
Yeah, sure. And also when we prepared our resolution on Pakistan, we also used our platform, our intergroup, as a kind of platform, and also to find support of other political groups. I see it also as a responsibility for our intergroup, well, to take care of a let's say correct follow-up of this resolution.
So there is a background work in the intergroup to make sure that the message gets across.
Sure.
Now, just to finalize, there was a very successful conference just now. We just arrived here from the conference where a lot of advocacy groups, NGOs, organizations were present, lawyers from Pakistan, professors researching human rights law and legislation, advocacy groups, international and from Pakistan. A lot of reports have been presented by the Jubilee Center, but other organizations who were representing the case of Maria Shahbaz were present, talking about different angles of the same problem. Why did you think it's important to host such an event? What is the purpose of such conferences here in the European Parliament? And what exactly were the conclusions of this conference?
Yes. Well, the importance of the conferences are the fact is the fact that you raise awareness. It's important to keep it on our agenda and to inform also our colleagues in the Parliament about what is really happening. Facts and figures are crucial to know, and they presented the real facts and figures to us this morning. So that was very useful. That's very helpful to have the expertise in the room and to inform our colleagues about the importance of the fight against the forced marriages in Pakistan. What were the main conclusions? Well, I think the main conclusion was that the fact that the resolution was adopted in the Parliament was well received. Everybody saw it as an important step forward, because now the EU is very vocal on this issue. And other conclusion was, well, we see some progress in the field of regulations. Some regions of Pakistan, the law is changed, but in the end, it all depends on the correct implementation. So we have to urge the Pakistani government to take care of a correct implementation of the laws.
So we can conclude by saying that the adoption of the resolution is very important. It shows that there is awareness amongst the legislators and the MEPs about this issue.
Sure.
But it is considered as a first step, in making sure that the laws are not only placed, but that they are taken seriously and that they are implemented in Pakistan. And when it comes to the GSP Plus negotiations, the Parliament plays a critical and crucial role in pressurizing the Commission and the EEAS and other players who are involved in the negotiations with Pakistan to make sure that human rights are respected in Pakistan, and forced marriages, forced conversions are not happening in Pakistan. That would be the correct way of concluding this discussion.
Sure.
Bert-Jan, thank you so much for being here today and hearing from the topic and the complexity of the issue. I am sure it will still be on our agenda and the topic that we will be discussing in the future.
Follow up.
So thank you very much for being with us today.